With Chensō Man's beautiful intro season coming to an end, I figured why not be the decisive factor in ranking the combative skills of all fighters shown thus far. Before we begin, just as a side note, I know absolutely nothing about the manga and have yet to read it, so forgive me if I do sound like a fucking idiot. And also, if you haven't watched it yet, spoiler warnings ahead, which I do not know why you haven't watched it yet. With that being said, let's get straight into it. So obviously we have our standard F through S tier league. The final league that I added there, that TBD, is to be determined, as we haven't seen enough or anything from whoever I placed there. So that's what that is. So to begin, we're gonna start with Mr. Down Bad himself. We have Denji. Denji, to me, is the epitome of an A tier character. He can't be S tier, as you know, that's reserved for the top of the realm, and we already know who's gonna be there. But Denji's able to absolutely annihilate the zombie devil, which, by the way, Makima was dispatched to come take care of herself. He's also able to fight and force the eternity devil into submission. He's also able to fight toe to toe, and that part sometimes even looks like he's winning against Katana Man. Not to mention, we also see him completely eviscerate the Bat Devil, which had no option but to really just flee from Denji's lunacy. So yeah, Denji's a solid A tier character.
Ping pong.
Next we have my boy. Hayakawa is able to completely neg Katana Man that isn't spamming that fucking move.
Hey, you know how I do it.
He's also able to fight off the ghost devil for quite some time before getting overpowered and released by it. To top it all off, he is also able to react to gunfire point blank. So you might be thinking to yourself, oh, it's just a gun. But, you know, in this verse, guns are an actual big problem. So much so that they ban it. Bullets are an actual big speed problem in the Chensō Man verse. He's just a solid A tier character as well. Next up, we have now I feel like I'm gonna get some hate for this, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I don't think Power is, at least thus far, I don't think she's that much of a good combatant.
Customer service. Get me straight to the bitch, bruh.
She quite literally has only fought fodder characters. She refused to fight the Bat Devil. You know, my assumption being is, of course, that she cannot beat him. Otherwise, she has no other reason to follow along with his demands for the cat. She literally does not fight against the Leech Devil. She literally tells Himeno, hey, listen, I'm not fighting against neither Sawatari or Katana Man because they're both out of my league. And yeah, I mean, she's not that good of a fighter. I'm gonna go ahead and put her at B tier. We literally only see her defeat, you know, fodder. So yeah. Next we have Himeno. So Himeno's combat skills is kind of hard to gauge, only because she literally only uses the ghost to fight. With that being said, she's also not that good of a fighter. She's able to completely restrain and neg Power, but that's not really saying much. I'm gonna put her at B tier ahead of Power. Next is undoubtable best girl, Kobeni. Now, Kobeni without a doubt is A tier. Kobeni is able to, I wouldn't even call it fight. Kobeni is able to blitz and completely annihilate human form Katana Man. She's able to evade Sawatari's snake summoning, damn near kill Katana Man. But with that being said, this is human form Katana Man. So, you know, there are some points deducted to that. I would go ahead and place her at A tier right behind Aki. Next up is Arai. we don't even have to discuss where Kishibe is going. Let's go ahead and slap him here. I'm not gonna give any reasoning as to why. Watch the following clips and you know why. I mean, plus, just as an ad, he's the only person in the show, in season 1, who can talk to Makima however the fuck he wants.
Yo, get off that nigga dick, bro. What is you doing?
Next up is the queen of all simps, Makima. So with Makima, I'm actually very tempted to put her at S tier, right? But when I thought about it, combat is fighting, but we haven't seen her fight. We've seen one of her abilities. We haven't actually seen her fight. So I'm gonna go ahead and put her at to be determined, because I know for sure we're gonna get more insight on her actual combat skills. So Sawatari is also on the same boat as Himeno, right? However, she literally just uses summonings. We haven't seen her throw a punch. The only thing we've seen her do is return gunfire back to Kobeni and drive off. That's it. So I guess the only thing that's kind of gives her a plus is power is literally shaking in her boots against her. Not just that, but the Ghost Devil also states like, oh listen, this girl's a problem. We don't know why exactly. This is headcanon, but I don't think it comes down to combat skills. I think it's rather just because of the summoning, the contract, so to speak. So Sawatari, I'm actually going to place, and this is going to be controversial, I'm going to put her at B tier in front of Arai. Katana Man, he's going to be, for me, current leader of A tier. If he starts spamming that move, it is an instant win for him. Nobody can react, period. And the only reason why he loses to Denji at the end is because he quite literally didn't see Denji growing a chainsaw out of his leg. But besides that, the guy can win any fight instantly because people literally just can't react to his speed. So yeah, he's a solid A tier character. Next, we'll get into the Fiends. So it's important to note with the Fiends that Kishibe states, since we only get to see the Fiends fight just zombies, narrative implication is going to become a big factor here. The Spider Devil gets the least amount of recognition from Kishibe. So I won't lose any sleep putting the Spider Devil ahead of Arai, but behind Sawatari. The Angel Devil is actually dangerous. Not only can he react to gunfire damn near point blank and shield it with its wings, but the most broken ability about it is it drains life at an accelerated rate. Think Baryon mode Naruto, but on steroids. I'm perfectly fine with putting the Angel Devil as an A tier combatant. So the next one's my favorite out of the special fiends that were introduced, which is the Violence Fiend. So the Violence Fiend is very special because I'm very tempted to put it at S tier because of the narrative implication behind it. Also, we get with Makima the explanation of how strong these fiends and devils get their source of power from. Violence should be a subdivision of, let's say, something like even the Gun Devil, right? So it leads me to believe, and you know, once again, this is kind of headcanon, it leads me to believe that the Violence Fiend might and should be an S tier fighter. Even with the narrative implication that it's constantly nerfed, I don't think it's fair enough to put him on the likes of Kishibe, so I'm gonna put him at the head of the pack for A tier, and god damn it, I stand by it. Next up, we have Tanjiro. Now, the Shark Fiend has a very unique position. It can temporarily transform into its actual devil itself, so it kind of, you know, I think it's definitely a step up from the Spider Devil, if you ask me. The ability's nice. I also fought zombies, so I can't really say too much about it, but yeah, I'm just gonna, I feel it's definitely higher than the Spider Devil and the rest of the pack, so I'm gonna go ahead and put him the head of B tier. Next up, I'm definitely gonna put these two, you know, in the same tier, which is gonna be to be determined, and that's Tendo and Kuruso. And the to be determined, I mean, we simply have not seen them fight. They're just kind of there, and you know, quite frankly, they don't want to be a part of the massacre that ensues. So yeah, to be determined, and hopefully we do get to see more of them. So next is the snake summoning, or the snake devil. With the snake devil, I'm ranking it kind of as, obviously, you know, its effectiveness in battle, but also the requirements for it. So Sawatari only had to give up nail, like a literal like nails off of her finger, which isn't a lot to ask for. As for example, Himeno had to give up her right eye to use the right arm of the ghost. So yeah, giving up nails for the snake devil is a fucking bargain with how fast it comes onto the battlefield, how fast it disappears. It can also completely overpower whatever it is fighting, or whatever other devil it is fighting, hold it, I guess, hostage in its stomach, and then later spit it back out, which is what I presume Sawatari did to the ghost devil. So yeah, I put it as an S tier combatant slash summoning. Next up is the bat devil. The bat devil doesn't have too many feats. We'd see it get absolutely destroyed by Denji, but besides that, we know that power cannot defeat the bat devil, so definitely he is ahead of her. But I also don't see a feasible way for Himeno to also defeat the bat devil in a one-on-one fight. Bat devil second place in B tier. All right, next is the ghost devil. The ghost devil is quite simple. It overpowers and overwhelms Aki. It also overwhelms Katana Man, and is right about to kill Katana Man. Ghost devil is a problem. Ghost devil is definitely top tier A fighter. So the cursed devil is pretty straightforward. It's an instant kill, like straight up. There's no, it's almost like in Yu-Gi-Oh! The 5 pieces of Exodia. It's game, set, and match. Now I'm not sure if the cursed devil can operate autonomously, or if you have to reach 3 stabs with just that nail sword, but the cursed devil itself is S tier. I'm putting it even in front of Kashibe. I mean, it curses you to death. Next up is probably everybody's favorite summoning.
Cool.
Fox Devil completely just negs the Leech Devil. The Leech Devil, granted, should also be weaker than the Bat. We've also seen Kon get completely dismantled by Katana Man, so it doesn't help it in terms of getting it to A tier. So yeah, I think B tier is a solid place for it, and we're gonna go ahead and put it in front of both Leech and Bat Devil. There's not too much to say about the Leech Devil, other than the fact that I'm pretty sure it's weaker than the Bat Devil. Power, for one reason or another, could not fight it. We see an impartial Denji be able to damn near kill the Leech Devil, whereas it took a full powered chainsaw mode Denji to defeat Bat. It's ahead of power, but not ahead of Himeno. And the final actual combatant is the Eternity Devil. The Eternity Devil is a special kind of devil because it is very circumstantial, very situation based. It almost reminds me of like a stand in JoJo, right? Certain stands in JoJo are very situational. But if the conditions are met, it is a fucking nightmare to break out of. Now, with that being said, it's not that powerful. Being that the requirements is that it hosts, you know, an area or location, and then the victims would have to enter it, and then that's when the mind games begin, so on and so forth. Eternity Devil, I'm going to put at actually C tier. Pochita and Meow, best dog, best cat, respectively. S tier. Don't ask me why. And yeah, this is my complete combative rankings. Once again, this is combative rankings, okay? This isn't, you know, a popularity test or this, that, the third. Completely fighting skills. Yeah, if you've enjoyed, you already know what to do. Hit that like button, comment for the YouTube algorithm. Anything other than that, much obliged. Thank you for tuning in.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.